Yeah, we are trying to talk about the joyness that is missing. Obviously, since the start until today, there is no joyness, be it in law and order situation. Look at the state forces and the paramilitary forces, which is already in front of us, which has faced an fire against the samurai force, and be it the civil society, both from the valley and from also in the hills, there is no joyness. Why this is missing is all because the fact that this is already an ethnic conflict, or let's say a community versus a community. Everything that belongs to that particular community, you know, tend to side with that particular with the community they represent, and that is the reason why joyness until today is missing. And if we look at the civil society, let me take an example of COCOMI, of which Athouba is a spokesperson. If you look at the role played by COCOMI, even prior to the onset of the violence, we have seen time and again, not just COCOMI, other civil societies in the valley have been, to a certain extent, targeting the tribals, the Kukis in particular. And in fact, it was COCOMI very recently only, declared war against the narco terrorists, the Kukis. All of these things happening from a civil society that's supposed to remain neutral or otherwise be a bridge between, the two warring communities. But we have seen how later the Kuki in Manipur also follow suit, and that's how this war of words started, to take place between the two communities. And when all of these, organizations which are supposed to act as neutral or otherwise be a bridge between these two communities becomes, the propagator of hate and violence, then how are we expecting any sort of joyness or any sign of normalcy that is that we hanker, or otherwise we hunger for? And let me come to this. Very important thing about the Shiro, or otherwise the Suknu incident, is that I'm not siding with Athouba nor with Major Bansal, but the problem was there was a peace treaty. Peace treaty broke. I don't know who broke it first, but I only knew that the treaty was broken and that the first village to be attacked was Aihang village in Sugnu area, which is the village that belongs to Mr. Lerpao, who is also a minister in Chief Minister Biren Singh's cabinet. And that's how the peace treaty broke, and that's how things went out of control. And in fact, if that is so, it means that it was the valley people, or otherwise the Métis community, that broke the treaty and started arson on Aihang village. Yeah, over to Kartikeya.
Mr. Athouba, you wanted to say something? I will give you a chance, Chief. I will give you a chance. Athouba ji, I will give you a chance. मैंने आपसे बोला था, this will not be like a TV debate. This will not be like a TV debate. I will give you a chance. आप बोलिए.
No, you are disturbing the whole sequence of the debate. Now, come on, yaar.
I am not disturbing the sequence of the debate. I want to get the debate back on jointness. ये बार-बार चली जाती है debate किसी और part पे. मैं बार-बार कोशिश करता हूँ कि jointness पे आ जाए. मैं बार-बार कोशिश करता हूँ somehow, can I have a debate in which, I can take up certain issues, लेकिन वो घूम फिर के, and I'll be honest with you. Can I be honest with you? Can I be honest with you, Athouba ji?
झूठ के दायरे पे jointness कैसे आएंगे? झूठ बोलना तो बंद करो उसको पहले. Let him stop lying first.
अच्छा, आप अपनी बात कंप्लीट कीजिए. You complete. आप ये ना बोले कि I don't allow you to speak. Please complete.
Number one, when Mr. Thangminlal says that COCOMI, even before the start of the violence, had started taking a very communal and biased stand and activities, that's completely lie. I don't know from where did he collect all this lieful informations. For the record, COCOMI is the one who initiated the evacuation process in coordination with the Assam Rifles. On 8th of May, starting from 8th of May till 11th of May, we have evacuated more than 8,000 Kuki stranded people from Imphal to the safer place. And we brought back 7,000 Meiteis and other communities from Churachandpur and other places to safer place in Imphal. And we tried to broker the peace for the past 1 month, for the whole month of May. It never turned out to be successful because all the Kuki leaders, they have disconnected from our line of communication. Then only we come to understanding that the Kuki militants are behind all these incessant attacks. Then only we declared war on Chin Kuki narco-terrorism on 7th of June. But when Mr. Thangminlal says that COCOMI started the entire this enmity before starting of the 3rd May violence, that's a blatant lie. How could he say that? Number two, when he said that those 3 people who were butchered and killed in the midnight when they were sleeping in their own respective beds, they are not inside the buffer zone. It is beyond the native Muslim inhabited areas where Meiteis are inhabited. It is far more deeper inside the Meitei territory. And their families has already been evacuated. They are only taking care of their houses. Father and son were sleeping inside the house. And he says that they went to attack and the Kuki retaliated and killed them. How on earth he can lie like that? If a person like him, a research scholar, can lie that much with a straight face in front of the national media, how on earth are we going to find a joint, meeting point? This is shocking.
Can I
for now.
Okay, can I get my colleague Brijesh Pandey, who's been like, silently waiting for his chance. Brijesh, when we decided today in our newsroom meeting, I said, can we have a program on the jointness? We can take the peg of this FIR. And we'll say that FIR is an event in a journalist studio. It's a peg. It's peg of the story. It's a fact that FIR has been lodged. And then we will take our discussion to the jointness. Where is jointness lacking? So we have taken a full circle and we have not answered the question.
Well,
is this jointness lacking because of lack of political stamina, which the leadership, in the state? I don't want to take names.
That has been there since day one.
And Biren Singh today got support from the Home Minister. A lot of people in opposition were saying he should resign. He said, President rule tab lagta hai jab Chief Minister cooperate nahi karta. And Amit Shah on the floor of the House said, Biren Singh is cooperating.
Well, Kartikeya, what Amit Shah said, that this is something which I have been saying right from day one, that BJP is not going to remove N. Biren Singh from office. Despite all the talks and source-based information of that he is going to be removed and all. The other reason is that if you look at the kind of conversation we are having, and by we I mean not Mr. Athouba and Mr. Doungel, but I am saying that majority of the conversation that is happening, see, the divide is so deep. The divide is so deep and the fear of suspicion is so deep that you're talking of the jointness, you're talking of a symmetry which should be there in fishing out or flushing out terrorists or people who are involved in taking law into their own hand. The real fight is now going on between Assam Rifle and Manipur Police, which is very unfortunate, because these two forces would have been or should have been taking out all those people who are taking law and order into their own hand. But such is the deep divide and distrust that it is baffling. And I think it's also a clear-cut signal to Mr. Kuldeep Singh, who is a security advisor to the Chief Minister and under whom all this unified command is working, that he should have a serious conversation with the top bosses of the Manipur Police and also the top bosses of the Assam Rifle to ensure that this kind of thing doesn't happen out. Because I mean, what is that FIR is a 2-page information which puts out in black and white about the kind of distrust there is between the state force, which is in charge of law and order, which is usually in charge of law and order in any state, the state police, and Assam Rifle, which has been posted there to protect the buffer zone. I mean, it is extremely baffling, because the FIR is not something which has been lodged by a layman. It's not lodged by a villager. It's lodged by Manipur Police, which is detailing the incidents. So either the incidents are fake, then action should be taken. But if the incidents are true, then action should have been taken. There is no third way. So that is why I am saying that that there should be talk at the top level to ensure that this kind of embarrassment doesn't come out in public.